Squad, welcome back to the channel. I have read your comments, I've seen them all, and it's here. Today we are doing Modern Warfare 3 Search and Destroy classes and settings. I'm going to start this video off with the same thing I say in every single one of my classes videos. What works for me may not work for you. I am a PC keyboard and mouse player. I play on 800 DPI for those keyboard and mouse players that want to know. And I make my classes around my aggressive playstyle. If your playstyle is different or you're on controller, you might not love these as much as I love them. So feel free to change them up. Just use my classes as a base to kind of give you an idea of what to use. Then you could go from there and make them work exactly how you want them to work. Don't be afraid to change them up is basically what I'm trying to say. You don't have to use exactly what I'm running. Hopping into the classes, starting things off with the perks. One of the things I'm really excited for is that this is the first time in years that I actually have multiple perk combos to show you. Usually I'm just like, hey, here's the 3 perks I run on every class 24/7, use these. I actually have multiple combos that I use in this game because the customization of this game is so much better than Modern Warfare 2. So starting things off, we're gonna go with the vest. We got the infantry vest. Now the infantry vest, this one I pretty much run on every single class. Infantry vest is the absolute move, okay? It gives you your double time. This is your rushing setup. You want that double tack sprint infantry vest for the win. Without it, it's really annoying. So infantry vest is one thing you're going to see on all the setups. Now, as far as the actual pieces of gear go, this is where things get a little bit different. So right here, we got a rifle class. If I'm rocking an assault rifle, this is typically the setup I'm going to run. I usually run marksman gloves, covert sneakers, ghost, and then I run a portable radar. All right, let me break it down. First off, the portable radar is great, especially on an assault rifle class, because if you get bombed down on an enemy's death or you're posted up in an area, you can throw that portable radar down to try to cover your bases, because since people have covert sneakers, you're not going to hear them if they come up behind you, or at least you're not going to hear them till it's too late. So having that portable radar down to help you out in a few scenarios is usually pretty helpful. You could also rock a trophy system as well for the same purpose. If you're trying to hold down a bomb site or something, a trophy system works great as well. Personally, I prefer the portable radar, but the trophy system can be very helpful, especially since currently EOD does not work properly in public matches. Sledgehammer Games, please fix this. It's really annoying. Now, covert sneakers for the boots, I do not have to explain why I run this. If you're not running this in Search and Destroy, you're doing Search and Destroy wrong. It's very simple. All the boot options are irrelevant. Run covert sneakers if you're playing Search and Destroy. I mean, like, I cannot explain it any further than that. Eliminates footstep audio. Dead silence. Use it 24/7. The field upgrade's great and all, but you don't want the field upgrade dead silence while everybody else has the perk dead silence on, because then you're going to be the only person on the planet that they're sound whoring. So run covert sneakers. I cannot stress this enough. Moving on to the gloves, this is where things get a little bit different. I run marksman gloves on pretty much any setup that isn't meant for rushing. If I'm running an assault rifle class, I am using marksman gloves. I'm running a sniper, I'm using marksman gloves. LMG, battle rifle, marksman rifle, etc. Anything that isn't an SMG or shotgun or pistol, I'm probably running the marksman gloves for a big reason. One being flinch while ADS reduced. That's the huge thing of marksman gloves. Back in the older Call of Duties, we had this perk called toughness. We used to run it on every single class because it reduced your flinch while ADS. Now in this game in particular, and especially for myself being a keyboard and mouse player, having reduced flinch while in a gunfight is extremely helpful, especially if you're going rifle versus rifle. So marksman gloves for the win. Finally, the gear. The gear is pretty much your best perk slot in this game, and a lot of this comes down to personal preference. For me personally, I play a lot of solo Search and Destroy, which means enemies are able to call UAVs in because my teammates suck. So I'm usually running Ghost, but there's a few other good options in this game. You have EOD, you have Tac Mask. Both are good for own reasons. We know what they do. Only problem is right now, EOD is broken. Personally, if they fix EOD, then I'm probably going to be running EOD a lot more than Ghost. Just right now, there's no point running EOD since it doesn't work properly in public matches. Tac Mask, obviously, get yourself out of stuns and flashes, etc. It's helpful, but it's not insane. I don't get stunned enough to really want to use it over Ghost. Ghost is really the most helpful because of how strong UAVs are, since there is red out to the map in this game and whatnot. Finally, a perk that I really love that I think is underrated, we have Data Jacker. If you don't know what Data Jacker does, basically if you shoot an enemy and you go stand on their body, as long as you're standing on your body, it'll throw out like a little portable radar UAV ping. And so if enemies are around you it'll ping them with a red dot so you can see where they're at. If you're rushing, that's helpful because you're going to be running, shooting a guy, running over their body. It'll give you a UAV ping, and then you can see where the other enemy is, push that guy, etc., etc., etc. So it can be pretty helpful for rushing. Ghost is by far your #1 perk with how much UAVs get calls in search and destroy, but Data Jacker, very helpful to run if you like to rush and you're confident in your ability to dodge people even if you don't have Ghost on. Moving on to lethals and tacticals, frag grenade, stun grenade. I mean, the classic combination, it's the best combo. As far as lethal goes, we all know why frag grenades are the best in this game. They're very, very, very good, especially with the way EOD is right now. There's not really a better one to run except for maybe the Semtex if you like that. But besides that, I mean, frags are unbelievably goated in this game. To tacticals, you have a few options. Obviously, smoke grenades I think are great, but only work for certain scenarios and certain routes. For example, you guys know how I love using smoke grenades on Shoot House, and we are going to get Shoot House in the normal playlist in this game soon. So you know I'll be running smoke grenades on that map. But for the most part, stuns seem to be the best option because they're just very, very, very strong and have a very wide range. Now, stim shots, I will say, are helpful again in this game. You can use them to refresh your tac sprints. You can run faster for longer, which is helpful, but only on a handful of maps like Derail or Wasteland, for example. Most maps, you have enough tac sprint with a Karambit knife secondary that you don't really need to use the stim shot for rushing. It really would only be using it to heal yourself, which is great, but to be honest, I'd rather have a stun than be able to heal myself because the stuns are very, very good in this game. I will say though, stims do have something kind of cool with them. You can use a stim to actually counter a stun. So that is helpful. I don't know if you guys know that. If you get stunned and you use the stim will cancel out the stun. It'll cancel out the effects of it so you can get out of it quicker. Basically like built-in tac mask, pretty much. Secondary, I mentioned Karambit knife. Now, I've seen a lot of people running different secondaries and asking me, combat knife, Karambit knife, gutter knife, which one? Karambit knife. Karambit knife's the fastest one, and it's the coolest one. I mean, come on, it's the coolest one. But it is getting one that is the fastest. The game straight up tells you that. If you look at the mobility on it, it goes down when you do the gutter knife, and it goes down when you click the combat knife. And then all of these we already knew were slower than everything else. The Karambit knife is the fastest one by far. If you're gonna rush, use the Karambit. Moving on to perks for my rush classes, everything is the same as the assault rifle class. The only thing that changes is instead of marksman gloves, running quick grip gloves, which gives you the increased weapon swap speed. It's fast hands, right? For rushing, fast hands is really helpful. For one, that stupid glitch where it doesn't give you your gun still happens unless I have quick fix on, or quick grip on, I mean, and it drives me insane. I don't know why that is still a thing. If we could fix that, that'd be great. If you have the issue, you know what I'm talking about. But more importantly, as someone who likes to play aggressive, I get lots of scenarios where I don't have time to reload. Instead, I need to pick up an enemy weapon and kill them with it, and I do it all the time, and I think it looks cool, and I think it's fun. And without quick grip gloves, I wouldn't really be able to do that. So when I'm rushing, I'm running the quick grip gloves over the marksman gloves. I love the marksman gloves, but the flinch resistance isn't as helpful close range with an SMG as it is long range with an assault rifle. So you don't need them as much, I think. Quick grip is definitely the move if you're gonna rush, in my opinion. I also get asked a lot about the assault gloves because you'd think these would be really good for rushing since it helps your, improves your accuracy while jumping while ADS, and it also improves your ADS time as well. You would think this would be the move. I'm gonna be honest, I don't notice a difference with them on. Like straight up, I do not notice any difference jump shotting with assault gloves versus without assault gloves, so I just choose not to run them for that reason. They don't make enough of a difference for me to really notice, so I'm not gonna use them. Quick grip gloves for the win if you're gonna rush. Marksman gloves if you're playing with an assault rifle. That's the way I feel about it. That's my opinion. Moving on to the reason you guys actually clicked on the video, we have the actual class setup. Starting things off with the MCW, which is my personal favorite weapon in the game right now. It is by far the most overused weapon in this game right now, but for good reason, because it's not insanely powerful. It just has no recoil, which just makes it very satisfying to use and very enjoyable to use. A class setup, we've got the Mark III reflector, which is the only optic you should run in this game. It's so good. Like, this optic's awesome. Then we got the RB Claw PSL grip, the high grain ammunition, the Cassis brake, and the MCW Cyclone long barrel. Next up on the list, we have the MTZ, or as I like to call it, the best SMG in Modern Warfare 3. SMGs right now are really underpowered. They don't have any range. They're only really good point blank, and even then, they're not that amazing. It honestly really hoping we see some more SMG buffs. I know they recently buffed the normal striker, which was helpful, but the SMGs are still just not on par with some of these assault rifles. And the MTZ has an extremely fast fire rate, fairly low recoil, and phenomenal mobility for an assault rifle. It's honestly kind of the best rush weapon in this game, if I'm being real, next to probably the Rival 9. Class setup goes, we got the DR6 hand stop, we got the Cassis brake, we got the Drifter heavy barrel, the Mark III reflector, and then the Bruin TR24 assault grip. Moving on to the weapon that recently got nerfed, we got the DG58. It recently got nerfed, but that nerf did damn near nothing because this weapon is still very good. All right, it didn't do nothing, but it didn't nerf the weapon enough to where I'm not going to use it and go, oh shit, that guy just got destroyed. Okay, it's a great weapon. The DG58 is still very high on the list. I would say probably the best weapon in the game next to the Holger 5.56. Holger is probably still a little bit better in my opinion, but the DG is very good. Class setup goes, we got the DR6 hand stop, the LS18 barrel, Mark III reflector, the extended butt plate. Yeah, that's the name of it. And then we have the steady rear grip. Next on the list, we have the Holger 5.56, which I still think, in my personal opinion, is the best assault rifle in the game. I know a lot of people argue DG or MCW are better, but this gun is god tier in my opinion. I love it. It's very, very, very strong. And if I'm in that match where I'm worried I'm gonna lose or I need to get a comeback or something, I'm probably putting the Holger on. Class setup goes, we have the Mark III reflector, the Holger 26 factory stock, the Intruder grip, the high grade ammo, and the Cassis brake. Moving on to the SMG, starting things off with probably my favorite SMG in the game. We have the Striker 9, which we have just max damage ranged out because these SMGs are weak, man. They're weak. But when you max damage them out, we got the high grade ammunition, the Striker long barrel, 40 round mag, Mark III reflector, and the RB assault stock. You max that out and you get yourself quite the beamer, fast fired SMG that has a good enough damage to where you can get a handful of mid-range kills when necessary. Overall though, this SMG is great. I think it's highly underrated. Pretty much nobody uses it in my lobbies. Everyone's rocking the CX9, and I'm gonna be honest, I think the Striker 9 shits on the CX9, which I know is a hot take, but I like this weapon way more than the Rival 9. Speaking of the Rival 9, here we are, or the CX9 or the Scorpion Evo, whatever you want to call it. I've got a couple class setups for this gun that I've been using, and I'm going to give you guys both of them because, to be honest, I do not like this SMG. I know it's the SMG of choice. The CDL pros love it. It's everyone's favorite right now. I can't find a setup on this weapon that I just absolutely love. I just can't. I keep changing up and doing different. So I have a couple setups that I like on it that I'll share with you guys. But this weapon for me, it just isn't as good as the Striker 9 or the Uzi. I'd much prefer to run those two. But everyone's rocking this gun, so we'll share it. We've got the 40 round mag, the Rival Vice assault grip, the Commando foregrip, the Shadow Strike suppressor, and the Rival 6 clear shot barrel. Now the second setup I like on this gun is DR6 hand stop, LFLAR flash hider, clear shot barrel, 40 round mag, Rival Vice assault grip. I just changed these two options. It pretty much depends on if you want to stay quiet or if you want to go for max mobility, max recoil control. That's really the difference I go for with this gun. Really just depends on how I'm feeling. I've kind of gone back and forth on the two. That's why I'm sharing both class setups. The first time I think I've ever given two class setups for the same gun in a class setup video. But I've got really mixed feelings for this SMG. I think it's very good. It just doesn't mesh well with the way I like to play or something. I don't know. I love this weapon in the beta. It was my favorite gun. It was my most used gun. But since the game came out, I don't know what they did to it, but I do not like it nearly as much. The Striker 9, by far preferred. But these two class setups still work great. Like, the weapon is by no means bad. It's more of a personal preference thing as to why I don't like it as much. Finally, it wouldn't be a seat class video without the Uzi. We got the WSP9, which is basically the Uzi from MWIII. As far as class setup goes, we're rocking the OpTac long barrel, the 40 round mag, the Marauder rear grip, the WSP factory stock, and the Mark III reflector. Now, I've gotten a lot of questions about whether you run the conversion kit or not. Personally, here's my take on it. If you're wanting to rush aggressively and play close to mid-range, rock the normal 40 round mag. That's all you need. But if you want to play long range, if you want to use the Uzi on Wasteland for some reason, then ditch the mag, throw on that conversion kit, and rock that instead. Gives you that long range, gives you that 3-shot to 4-shot kill Uzi that we love from MWIII. Without it, this weapon's like a 4 to 5 shot, which meshes well with the kill time. So it's still a very strong SMG, very low recoil, high damage. It really just depends on how you're planning on using the weapon. If you want to use it like an assault rifle, run the conversion kit. If you want to actually use it like an SMG, run the 40 round mag. Moving on to my settings, I'm a believer that there isn't like a correct settings layout. I think a lot of it is down to preference. So I'm just gonna go through all my settings and just scroll through them, turn off the face cam, let you guys look at what you want to look at. I'll go through my keybinds, my controller settings, my mouse settings, etc. So you could just take a look at everything and just see what I run versus what you run. If you want to try changing stuff up, feel free to do so. But a lot of it depends on someone's setup and what they like to use and what their preference is. So I don't like to say that there's one best setting in the game that's gonna give you aimbot. I'm not that kind of creator. But one thing I will point out for my keyboard and mouse people is mouse filtering option. This thing changed my life on Modern Warfare 3. When this game first came out, I was struggling to aim. Like this game just felt really weird on keyboard and mouse for me. I saw on Twitter, I believe it was from Metaphor, shout out Metaphor. He acknowledged that flipping your mouse filtering setting to 2 changes the way it feels. And it really does. I highly recommend giving it a try if you're struggling to aim on mouse and key. Try mouse filtering 2 out. I've been running it ever since I changed it, and my aim is so much better. The game feels so much smoother on keyboard and mouse than it did when I had it off. So thought I'd point that out for my keyboard and mouse people. But besides that, I'm just gonna scroll through all of my settings, let you guys take a look, use what you want to use, don't use what you don't want to use, just see what I run, etc. Yeah. Oh, also, I'm not sure if I said this, but I'm on 800 DPI for anybody wondering. All right, squad, that is it for my Search and Destroy classes and settings for Modern Warfare 3 pre-season. I'll update this video once Season 1 is out. May have new weapons and weapon tuning, etc. So expect that around Season 1 Reloaded area-ish. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. If you're new to the channel, like, search, or destroy, be sure to subscribe and join the squad. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. So you can destroy, it's Paciga.